How you guys doing out there in YouTube land? It's the Brains, the Smasher of the Brains, back at you again with another collection video. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. What do we got going on? Not much of an update. Didn't get a lot of stuff in recently, but been on a fucking bender this weekend. I ordered upwards of 20 albums the last few days. Dark Descent had a sale. Nuclear War Now had a sale. Couldn't resist. So, gotta get a lot of shit in, and we'll talk about that when it comes in. Anyways, it's about to get loud here in a minute, but what we're listening to is, whoa, taking you on a trip there. This is a fine album from a band called, or a project called Book of Sand, and the album is called Face of the Deep. I love this album cover. And this came out in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm really happy to have this, despite it being on cassette. It's kind of hard to find copies of, but there's some strange shit going on. See, this is why I don't like cassettes. I put the tape in, it played a quick song, and now it's flipping over the tape. I don't know what's going on, but we're rolling with it anyways. I'm hoping that it plays what I'm expecting it to play next. Anyways, I've been listening to this on Bandcamp a lot. I downloaded it. But I have that yearning. Like, when I listen to an album digitally, I want to have a copy of it. And I want to pay the artist some money and have an exchange of media, you know. So I was able to get my hands on a copy of this from the band. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is repeating. Okay, it's finally playing. God, I hate cassettes. I fucking hate cassettes. Which is such a shame that this record is only available on Bandcamp digital and cassette. And it's sold out to the label. A copy popped up on Discogs the other day for cheap, but I missed out on it because someone knew that this is worth fucking getting. So I would love to see this on vinyl, CD. I would just love for more people to know this brilliant album. The thing about it, it's super unique. It's got lots of Southeast Asian, Indo-Asian kind of instrumentation going on. A lot of things I'm not even familiar with. There's several artists credited on here as playing the rebab. I'm gonna mispronounce all of this, I'm sure. The Sinten, the Gender Panaris, Siter, Semlempung, Gambang, and Suling. I guess I would have just guessed that this is gamelan all over the place, but apparently there's things kind of like a gamelan, if you're familiar with that. There's a cover of All the Pretty Horses on here. Is that Current 93? But it's just super interesting. Strange instrumentation mixed with really nasty, visceral black metal. Book of Sand has a lot of different albums out there, and I'm still kind of working my way with familiarizing myself with all of his releases, but this one has been the one that I listen to a lot. I've cooked a lot of breakfasts while jamming Book of Sand. Yeah, we'll get into that maybe later. So we are going to finish out the E's with the stack of goodies here. Not really anything to write home about. I kind of feel like this is going to be a boring video, so that's why I chose like a real banger to play in the background. So let's get into it and get this over with so you can move about your day. This is a band called Excessum with Death Redemption. Death Strike Records put this out. And this is real run-of-the-mill kind of orthodox Swedish black metal. In the vein of Watain, Onskapt, all that kind of stuff, you know. It's okay. It was good for its time, but I don't think anybody realized that this was going to be such a blow-up kind of thing for its time. I would say maybe it's a little less melodic and a little bit more far removed from like dissection than a lot of those bands are. It's a little bit more like dissonant, but it's not really unique. It's not really, doesn't really have a whole identity of its own, and I don't really know much else about this band other than the fact that this drummer played in Marduk for a little while. Frederick Anderson left, and then Emil Drauvik sat in for like an album or two from Legion, who fucking rules. And then this guy came in, and then he left. So, whatever. This is a fucking banger, though. Excommunion with Superion. So, this is a criminally underrated album. I really wish Dark Descent would reissue this one and give it a new breath of life, because it is fucking awesome. So, the dudes, some of the dudes from Nightbringer did this band before starting Nightbringer, and this is just fucking Tampa Bay Floridian death metal. I don't want to really single out Morbid Angel all that much, but it's kind of obvious that they're paying tribute to Morbid Angel. But it really, you can really hear a lot of the Nightbringer, the early kind of Nightbringer sort of stylings. There's that just like visceral, insidious kind of tonality going on, but it is just fucking so deadly. The riffs are great, the tone on it is fucking amazing. The mastering, mixing, production, all that stuff is just super satisfying. And the weird thing about it was, I believe it only exists as a promo copy from World War III music. So this is way back in, this came out in 2002, and Mercenary Music / World War III put this out. It's a great fucking record, but no one really cares because it was just a little promo sleeve kind of thing. It really deserves some serious attention. So after that, they, I don't know, hung it up. Did Nightbringer for years and years and years and years. Good stuff, whatever. And then last year they put out this follow-up, Thronosis, on Dark Descent. Now this isn't the whole band, but this is, I think, the main, I don't know if I could single out who it is. I've met the guy and I've ate chili that he made, but I can't think of his name. The whole like Nightbringer revolving door sort of members is super confusing to me, but this is that guy reunited with maybe a new drummer, I don't know, with the new album. So I've only listened to this maybe twice since I got it in, maybe last year or so. I need to get more familiar with it. Okay, so it's Christ Butcher on vocals, Kyle Spanswick on guitar, and Gordon Cooch on drums. So I'm not sure which of those are from the old band, but I mean, it doesn't sound all that different from Superion. The way that I found this Superion was I was like on SoulSeek downloading MP3s, and Superion came up under when I was searching for Revenge back around 2001, 2002 or so. I was just obsessed with Revenge. And I didn't expect to find something so fucking cool on accident. So next we've got Extremity. Wrong Again Records. This is Excretion, Voice of Harmony. I pretty much only own this because it's on Wrong Again Records, and they put out some great stuff out of Sweden. Whoa! But I have only spun this a couple of times. I'm not all that familiar with it. I think you and I can probably make a pretty good guess at what this sounds like. It probably sounds like Shitty at the Gates, if I'm being blunt. So that's probably about as good as it is for its time. This came out in, I want to say like 98, 99, somewhere around there. I should probably put this in and get reacquainted with it. Actually 95, so this might be a little bit better than I remember it being, or whatnot. Alright, so next we've got Excruciating Pain. This is another JL America Turbo USA release, so you know they only release the best of mediocre to like kind of bad kind of stuff. I talked about this a couple of videos ago, but this is alright. It's generic, it's whatever. The only thing I guess that stands out about it is how the vocalist he has a guttural voice. He can do the fucking typical death metal voice, but he chooses to everything is just cupped in front of the microphone, and it sounds stupid. And honestly, it kind of ruins the whole thing. So, staying on the JL America Turbo USA imprint, we've got Excruciation. Anno Domini Turbo USA. So I guess this is an anthology of demos. I don't know. I picked this up used a couple of years ago, and I was surprised how bad it was, honestly. I think this is kind of a thrashy death metal band. Obviously, it really hit home and struck a chord with me. It says these songs are demos: Prophecy, Immortality, Abyss of Time, and Act of Despair. Don't know where they're from, but yeah, I don't remember this being really worth a shit. Okay, next we've got a band I do not listen to fucking ever, Exit 13 with Ethos Music. Back when I was getting into metal with my buddies, they had a lot of these guys' albums, and I don't know, it never really struck a chord with me. I only have these honestly because I found them in used bins 10 or 15 years ago, and they were cheap, and I just, it's just kind of one of those things you feel like you need to have in your collection, in case someday it's good. But like when you talk about grindcore and like the best grind bands, I don't think Exit 13 really comes up all that often. They're kind of more, I think, like a humorous, jokey kind of band than anything. Especially like they just like wound out of control. They did a fucking like jazz album or whatever. But yeah, purveyors of fine grind. This is Don't Spare the Green Love and Ethos Music. It's been fucking forever since I listened to these, which is kind of weird because I really like the project of Bill Yurkowitz. He has a noise project called Naminax, and I really like some of that stuff, especially the album Audiotronic. That's some amazing stuff. But yeah, I should probably get reacquainted with these, but I don't know. I feel like nobody talks about this band for a reason. Next, we've got, boy, I haven't put this in a minute. Ex Mortem. This is a promo copy. So back in the day, back in like 97, 98 or so, the record store that I went to a lot and was totally good friends with and even wound up working at was somehow, and I don't even really remember how, friends with Mary Bialik, I think it was her name, Mary something like that. She played in was it Mythic and November's Doom and a couple other bands. She's kind of been around the US scene, I think kind of more towards Pennsylvania and stuff like that for years and years and years. And so we were kind of in touch back and forth, and I would talk to Mary on AOL back in the day and stuff. So I ran into her at Milwaukee Metal Fest, I don't know, 01 maybe, and she handed me just a pile of promos because she was doing, I think at the time she was heading, I think, the US office of Hammerheart Records, which I don't think wound up lasting more than 2 or 3 years or so. So she handed me a bunch of Hammerheart promos, and this was one of them, Ex Mortem, Berserker Legions. I just remember this being like a super brutal, kind of Dutch sounding death metal, kind of grind sort of band. Never really did anything for me, but I don't know, maybe these days it would kind of strike a chord. I've been really kind of craving something. I haven't really quite found it quite yet. I've been listening to a lot of death metal stuff, but Marty Worm posted a video a couple of weeks ago where he was playing Decrepit Birth in the background, which is a band I've always been like, whatever about, but it just, something about it just did something for me. It's super technical and super clicky and stupid. I know it's not the best example of that kind of thing, but it kind of set me off on a craving kind of thing. So I've been kind of wanting something like that ever since then. So next is a band. I always thought more would become of this band, but God, this is going to be super hard to see. It's one of those albums where everything's got to be black, except not. This is going to look like all black to you. You can't see jack shit on there. The band is called Exordium, and they are out of Finland. And I'm kind of confused about their discography, and always have been. But this is on Northern Heritage, and I really became a fan of Exordium when I heard them. Their 4 or 5 tracks on on the Crushing the Holy Trinity compilation that Full Moon Productions put out. Or no, not Full Moon. I bought it from Full Moon back then, but Northern Heritage did it back then, and that had a stellar lineup. Actually, I'll grab it because I was actually wanting to talk about this today. So Crushing the Holy Trinity was a really important compilation that came out back right when I think Finland was really starting to take hold, and I think we were kind of starting to take notice that there were so many good Finnish bands. So this was kind of the all presentation of those guys, and so this had Clandestine Blaze, an original material at the time, which has since been re-released on other formats. But at the time, it was original material by Clandestine Blaze, Decibel Omega, Exordium, who we're going to get back into, MGLA, Musta Surma, and Stabat Mater. So like all of those bands at that point were kind of relatively underground. So this is a 3 CD compilation. And I think there's also a 3 LP set. And the material on this is so fucking good. And Exordium just really, really struck a chord with me. Lots of lyrics and stuff going on in here. I think there's even an interview with Decibel Omega, which is a rare thing. The track by Stabat Mater above him on here is one of the most incredible, transcendent funeral doom tracks. You'll have it here. Anyways, this is about Exordium. Their songs on here are fucking awesome, and I don't know if those tracks are maybe on this thing. This is a self-titled 4-song EP. I also have a 7-inch of theirs, but it's just real nasty, and looking back, like, it's just pretty generic, like raw, visceral, hyper speed kind of Finnish black metal, but it's really good stuff. I really like the overall tone on all their stuff. I'm not familiar with if they've put out more stuff since then or whatnot. It's just kind of one of those bands I never really got around to really following through with, familiarizing myself with all their stuff or getting all their stuff, but it was really good at the time. It's just kind of like when all that Finnish stuff came flooding over from them, like fucking from Algazanth to Funeris Nocturnum, Horna, Musta Surma, Mustankum Lepset, MGLA, fucking Stabat Mater, Clandestine Blaze, all that stuff. It was just kind of so hard to keep track of, especially when it was like all on one label, but they would just throw 7 inches at you. I remember it seemed like we were in the Horna 7-inch fucking fan club at some point. Anyways, moving on to Eyes of Lygia. Pretty criminally underrated US black doom kind of band. Maybe from the Atlanta area. They've got members from Hellgoat and Legions of Astaroth. I'm pretty sure that's Atlanta area. But this is a super good album called A Fever Which Would Cling to Thee Forever. And Paragon Records put this out. I don't know why this flew under the radar so much, but this is a really, really heady kind of atmospheric album. And it really does merge the worlds of black metal and doom metal together, and it works so fucking well. It's super emotive and just like vibrant. It's really chilling to the bone. And this is year this came out, let's see, 06, so going on about 12 or 15 years ago. These guys have a couple other albums, and a lot of people I think have recommended them to me here and there, so I probably should find out what's with the rest of their stuff, but this one is really good. I could probably get away with putting a sample in this video if I could. Man, lately I've been getting bit so fucking many times by YouTube. If I put a sample of anything in a video, I get fucking hit. I can't monetize my videos, and it's not like I'm making any money off these videos. It's not like I'm trying to make a lot of video or money off these videos. But what it means is that if I have a clip in a video and I can't monetize it, that means that YouTube doesn't bother spreading it around and making sure that it gets seen by people who may not see it otherwise. So that's kind of why it's like important for you to subscribe so that you have a better chance of seeing my videos. Because if I try and help you guys out by putting a clip of a band in a video, it's not like I'm fucking trying to make any money off of this thing. That's why it's important to stay subscribed and keep checking in with me, because man, YouTube's just like really cracking down on that kind of shit, and it's kind of crazy. You'll think you have the most underground fucking black metal thing that nobody would give a shit about, and then all of a sudden, and it isn't like you upload a video and then instantly you know. Sometimes you do, but sometimes like months will go by and then it will say, hey, we noticed you got this video from like 3 years ago. Yeah, fuck you. So that's kind of dumb. So that's why I haven't been putting like clips in my videos as much as I used to, stuff like that. And then like, remember if I used to have the NFL intro song kind of thing? I thought that was super hilarious. I never got sick of it. Then I got in trouble eventually. I don't know why YouTube let me get away with putting that in so many of my videos for a long time. And then all of a sudden they said, hey, knock it off. So anyway, last band, Azurit. Not the most, not the greatest band. One of Illinois' most mediocre black metal bands, but I think they're still active. Most famously, this guy is infamous douchebag Azentrius of Knockmistium and Ascension Monuments Media, and what's his latest thing? The Underground Apothecary, as he's known on Discogs and eBay, trying to rip everybody off. Anyways, yeah, this is just run-of-the-mill, nothing to write home about really, kind of black metal. This album is called Infernal Dominatio. I remember kind of liking the shitty drum production on this, but I don't know, it's the kind of thing that over time has a charm. It kind of gets better with time, but for its time period, which is probably like 98, 99, somewhere around there, it was real forgettable. I remember this guy CT Nakuron at AOL, talking about AOL for the second time in this video. This guy used to pop up in the black metal chat rooms in AOL a lot, selling t-shirts and stuff like that. I miss the old days of AOL metal. Here's the second album from Azurit. This is An Ending to Revelations. And this came out a lot later than this debut, Infernal Dominatio. Don't know when it came out though, but I mean, this is going to tell you all you need to know about this. It's an okay at best album. Check out this guy. I gotta show you this. Guy's got the frothiest of hairdos. Good deal. I bet that guy's name is Jesse and lives in a trailer, and I hope he doesn't see my videos and get pissed off at me. Yeah, so we're spinning off the rails here. Thanks for watching. We're gonna get into the F's next time, making some headway. And thanks for joining me. Hope you have a good week.